combat jiu-jitsu, a grappling event unlike any other where you have the strikes afforded to you. And
Orchard has an incredible arm drag, and he's already hit it. He's hit this move, the arm drag to the back, so many times, and he hit it.
Some of the athletes don't necessarily use those strikes right away, but now Nathan Orchard hasn't thrown a strike, but he's got a submission on
Nathan's
right now.
going to go through the face. He's going to get this tap.
Man, I'm stoked to be doing this again. You know, I've done 6 EBIs, and this is my 4th Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. This is the 2nd time I've done it at 170. I took 2nd last time to Cody Steele, lost by ride time in the finals. And man, you know, I've just been a part of this show since the very beginning. So it's a huge deal to me, you know, I love it. This is the circuit that's made my career. And plus it's Eddie Bravo's show, which, you know, I mean, that's who I got my black belt from. So it just means so much to be able to represent my teacher, represent my team, you know, not just Seattle, but 10th Planet at large. And I mean, you know, going to Cancun is, you know, it's beautiful down there and super fun. So everything about it is just incredible, man. I'm stoked.
Oh, it's a wrist lock. Aikido style.
I mean, hand in position, there it is. It is done. Nathan Orchard.
The palm strikes really increase the pace, right? I mean, there's just way less downtime. It's constantly moving. You can't sit still. There are certain positions you can't really play that in a regular jiu-jitsu match you'd be able to play a little more. And yeah, I mean, it just keeps you a little bit more on your toes. But really, you know, for me, again, coming from MMA, it's actually normal. It's actually how my jiu-jitsu style was molded, was from strikes. So to me, this is like kind of going back home as far as that goes.
Orchard really, you know, being calculated with his strikes. We've seen some guys get a little too aggressive and fall off of dominant positions. Now Orchard in on that submission attempt.
When I transitioned from MMA to jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu was kind of easy because no one was trying to punch me. So that made it cool, but it's entertaining, it's fun, it's good to mix it up. I like mixing up all the martial arts and all the different things. So it's just another way to kind of refine my skills and keep myself honest. It gets MMA people who aren't just into jiu-jitsu maybe interested in some jiu-jitsu, and it starts to like show the jiu-jitsu world a little bit what's more real and what really applies when you do add strikes, because that's always a thing. Like, you know, well, would that work on the street? So this is not that this is the street by any sense of the word, but it's one step closer. You know, it's just one more, like, you know, filter you have to kind of put your jiu-jitsu through. So
you could kind of tell that Orchard did not like that strike.
Man, I've had so many experiences in the EBI/CJJ rule set. You know, I've fallen short. I've never quite taken it home. I lost to Wagner in the finals in the first one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I show kind of my game. I feel like I'm pretty well-rounded. You know, I mean, I feel like there's nothing I can't do in jiu-jitsu. I've got good wrestling. I've had 21 MMA fights. I know how to strike. I know how to scrap. You know, yeah, I'm bringing the full package, really. You know, I was a wrestler. My family was a bunch of wrestlers, and so I kind of, you know, wanted to keep, you know, carrying the torch. Wrestling led to MMA. MMA led to jiu-jitsu. Really, is how it went. You know. I actually took a break from MMA to polish my jiu-jitsu up for MMA, and then ended up just not going back to MMA and just kind of getting lost in jiu-jitsu. So that's where I'm at now. It's been nearly 10 years since I fought. I feel like my biggest accomplishment is just sticking in it for, 22 years now, of just all the different stuff I do. You know, like I said, wrestling, MMA, jiu-jitsu. I practice all kinds of different weapons. As far as life goes, you know, my biggest accomplishment, you know, is being a husband and a father. You know, I mean, that's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. It literally is my #1 priority in life. So, but it's cool because, you know, jiu-jitsu is my career, and so to take care of my family, I need to keep getting good at jiu-jitsu. So they kind of feed into each other. My family inspires me to get better at jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu helps me take care of my family. So, yeah, it's just it's really cool how they feed off of each other. Yeah, my typical routine is, you know, get up, take care of the kids. I'm on daddy duty in the mornings until my wife gets home from work, then we trade off. I come teach noon class and roll, and then take a little break in the afternoon, then come do it again at night. You know, yeah, that's a pretty typical day for me. Like a cable grip. So again, you know, training's okay because I can get a small group of people that want to work hard and stuff like that. It's running the business that's really difficult, and that really sucks more than anything. But you know, we're making our way through it, and honestly, the only reason this place is even open is just because of loyal and good students. You know, they want it to survive. They want it to be here when the pandemic is over, and yeah. So you know, wouldn't be without the students. We wouldn't be here at all. And even if I'm not the best, I'm always entertaining. I always go out there. I always give it everything I have. You know, and so that takes me far. That really has helped because again, just throwing myself in. That's where the magic happens. The first two I took second place in, right? And then the last one I did, which was also in Cancun, I lost in the semis to PJ Barch, you know, who's a complete and utter savage. So, you know, and then he went on and lost in the finals. So that's been cool to always have like a 10th planet guy in the finals. So, you know, this one is probably the toughest tournament I've been in, I think, as far as the names go and the talent pool. So, you know, I'm just going into it fully accepting all outcomes. You know, I really could win it, but I could also have a tough night, and I just, you know, I'm kind of going at it like I'm already dead, you know, because that seems to be when I do the best, when I kind of just go at it like it doesn't matter. You know, when I put too much pressure on myself, you know, I don't seem to do as well, but when I usually just kind of let go and just do my jiu-jitsu, regardless of the result, that's when I always get the best results. So it's kind of, you know, paradoxical in that way, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go out there and just let it fly. You know, just going hard nonstop till it's over, till I win or till someone beats me. Like, I will just go. There won't be any waiting. There won't be any stalling. I'm there to win it and not mess around.
What's up, guys? My name is Gesias, JZ Cavalcante. I'm a Luta Livre 4th degree black belt. I'm gonna be fighting and represent the Fight Sports Miami, and Fight Sports Deerfield Beach. I always like to watch the fights and on TV. Thanks God I have good parents. They look for judo because they always thought it was the most disciplined martial arts for kids, and I love it because it gave me a very good base, very good foundation, not just for training, but for life in general. I believe the first time I heard about combat jiu-jitsu was when Wagner competed. I'm friends with Wagner, and now we are way closer than back in the days, but we train together a lot now. But I think the first time I heard about combat jiu-jitsu was with him. I started my martial arts for MMA in Vale Tudo days. There was no holds bar. Back in the days, that's exactly how we used to train, because we didn't punch. You know, we have no gloves, we fight without gloves. So we used to train just with open hands and striking. When I saw that, I say, that's how I used to train my whole life. From the beginning of my career, like when I went to the Vale Tudo gym, that's what we used to do. So I love it because jiu-jitsu been moving away from the martial arts. It became like such a sport that took a lot of rules. The game, it changed a little bit. Back in the days, you used to see jiu-jitsu fighters that were champion, they automatically would be a great MMA champion, right? And today, with the sport and like the rules, you don't see that happening, you know? Actually, most of the guys that does jiu-jitsu today wouldn't be successful at all in MMA. And that's why I think went away from the martial art and become just more sport. And combat jiu-jitsu does that, brings the martial art aspect back. It's good for people who want to fight MMA, get confident to go and fight or compete with the real punching and stuff. You know, it's different when you mix it up the game.
Do some capoeira. Capoeira. Yeah.
But the best thing I can take it from the lockdown was having a little bit more time at home, and also from the lockdown I had a baby, you know, that just my newborn son. So lockdown wasn't all bad. Actually, the lockdown was very good because I had more time to train. We had more group on the training on the fight sports with the pro team. We have a lot of more training because everybody was just like able to train and not do all this stuff, you know. And we set up a group that was all together to take care of the situation. So just the group would go and train and go live, and that was great, you know. Actually, I was way more active this year with the corona, with the pandemic situation than the years before. I just got in a row competing all kinds of tournaments and super fights that I could get it. I have a pretty good routine. I teach here at Fight Sports Deerfield Beach. I also train with my students. I have an MMA team that I take care of. I'm the head coach with Daniel Mendes. I also do part of my training down with the Fight Sports Miami with Cyborg, Wagner, all the guys, all the beasts from there. And basically, I teach, I train, I rest, do my conditioning. That's all I do my whole day. Teaching, training. I live martial arts. I'm not just do martial arts, I really live the martial arts life. A lot of people think I came from jiu-jitsu, but I consider my background, even though I started in judo, gave him a good base, but I consider my background from luta livre. That's another style of grappling from Brazil. And basically it's just the no-gi that we do today with heel hooks, serve calls, all submissions allowed. And that's a sport that I won the Copa Budokan. I won 3 times that tournament in Brazil. And I've been around all of them. I fought the K1, Masato, I've been all kinds of martial arts I've done. I compete on the highest level. Adrian Bravo and I were talking about, for me, coming up to the combat jiu-jitsu world. Ended up not happening. And now when I went back to Corner Suraj in Mexico, we spoke again. He said, man, I have 1 spot left at welterweights. I say, you know what, let's do it, let's work. And then we work it out, and here I am. You know, it was a great event there. The beautiful venue, you know, the hotel, the resort was nice. Staying there, like they took care. They took good care of the fighters, and that's important as well for the sport to grow. You know, it has to be looking for all the aspects, not just for the event, but for fighters as well. My game translates very good for combat jiu-jitsu from the MMA. I was being good and know from my ground and pound. Back in Japan, they used to call me the little Fedor for a reason. And that's great for me. You know, combat jiu-jitsu is a good place for me to showcase those skills as well. I know I have a lot of good guys, but I'm pretty confident that it's my title, it's my championship, and that's perfect for me, you know. Can expect fireworks and a lot of sound.
Vinicius, the Brazilian bad boy, De Jesus.
I never get into anything thinking that I cannot not be the champion or the winner. I always go all in, and this is what my family raised me for it, you know, to win in life. And whatever I commit myself to go and do my best is what I expect to be in the end, is the champion. But of course, you know, life is full of surprises, and we gotta deal with the defeat.
You don't see this necessarily in other grappling tournaments. The wrestling game on the feet, all that much more important because you want to secure that top position where you can throw strikes.
I think I have what I need to become this Combat Jiu-Jitsu World Champion, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to put myself into this challenge, you know, and go and see to how far my brain and my body can go. I have been defeat before. Defeat don't surprise me. I just, you know, get up, start taking the dirt off, and then back in training, back in focus. And man, every time I get up, I can see a better version of me, and not gonna be any different in combat jiu-jitsu than other competitions to me. I'm a patience fighter, you know, like I like to be strategic. I don't like to rush it so much. Of course, sometimes you collide with fighters that want to bring you that quick finishing, you know, and sometimes they can do it, they can pull off. But I like ones to slowly down that pressure, you know, by reacting in the right point, with the right reaction, and frustrate them first, and then make them understand that, like, oh, it's gonna take longer to pull off. Develop my openings, develop my transitions, and then open up the facts to the palm strike, because palm strikes on my jiu-jitsu game is a huge fact. I palm strike hard, I'm having the strikes, and know whatever the strike goes, man, it's gonna hurt. What was my first thought about combat jiu-jitsu was not surprisingly how things was being playing out on the first time I was competing. No, because like you say, the palm strike and the slaps in Brazil is kind of part of the culture. You know, like sometimes we're just playing around slapping during training, you know, so we can build that instinct. Of course, as you compete on jiu-jitsu, you don't have that fact on it, but as a play, it was part of the culture of our jiu-jitsu. And so I knew it, like, oh man, there's another weapon. For me, it was another weapon, and I could use it, and like I use, you know, very well. And after competing, you know, I was, man, I love it. I love this. I love this form of competition. This form of jiu-jitsu is so entertaining. It's so much more active, because like it's not time to rest. It's not, you know, chilling out. You constantly can be making damage by palm striking the opponent. You always can open up more opportunity by using the palm strikes. And if the person's really worried about defense themselves and not really worried about the strikes, then you can make the eat strikes for forever, the whole 10 minutes. So man, you know, it's a tournament. I love it. I feel super bummed to be on it, and definitely gonna bring the show for the fans, man. It's gonna have every time I step in the cage, in the mats, in the ring, is, you know, I try to bring excitement and entertainment to the other people. That's how I feel about it. But also bring us to what jiu-jitsu, what Grace Jiu-Jitsu once was. And you know, slaps and palm strikes was always in the great jiu-jitsu culture. And Eddie Bravo brilliant, just like bring this back to the modern times of jiu-jitsu. And man, what I can say, I love it. I love the fact that like we can palm strike and top position advantage, palm strike from back control, from side control, you know, and just open up more the variation, those opportunities of get a submission and get the person exposed. And like if you don't even open to submission, man, you can make so much damage to palm strike, especially to people that know how to strike.
The palm strikes here is to open up opportunities to show off your submission ability. It's still very much a submission event, but again, it's about being honest. You can't just throw caution to the wind in real life situations and not worry about someone trying to hit you.
And this is exactly why, right? I mean, you cracked him right on that cut right there. You know, and those are, like we said, those are not knockout strikes, but they're damaging, and you used a great word there. You said it keeps it honest. Definitely finish it here, particularly when you've been on the receiving end. There it is.
That's a wrap. Vinicius de Jesus on his way to the quarterfinals, a submission in regulation. He had to work for it, but it ultimately came.
Man, I'm so excited. So excited to be in Cancun, Mexico for the first time. I never been there, so like I feel very, very excited to be invited for this tournament. From the first time I was very excited for, because I'm a big fan of Eddie Bravo's work, of see like EBIs, and when I was teaching years ago, I was, man, I'm gonna be in this tournament eventually, just talking to my students, and funny years later I was like competing in combo jiu-jitsu. It was a successful debut, good fight, but was defeated by Nate Archer in the quarterfinals. And maybe Cancun might be the time for rematch. What fans can expect from Vinicius de Jesus is excitement, is a bloody fight. They're gonna come heavy, they're gonna bring pressure. If you blank, they finish you. If you don't stay sharp until the end, they can finish you. If you don't stay attentive, they're gonna palm strike you until they start to getting blood off of you. And that is what the fans can expect from me. That's what fans always expect from me is excitement. It's excitement fights on the cage, excitement fights on the ring, and there's nothing different when I'm going to the mat. And man, I'm bringing war, I'm bringing a bloody fight. So don't blame.
My name is Bobby White Trash BJJ Emmons. I'm a black belt at a Nice Guy Submission Fighting.
Armbar
This is
coming
really
here.
good work by Bobby Emmons here.
I don't know if he had the angle on the elbow.
He's gonna finish the triangle now.
Is that a tap or is that strikes? Those are strikes.
There's strikes for now. They're going to turn into taps in just a second. I don't think he's making it out of this one.
Trying to pull
that triangle's locked in.
There's a tap. It is done. Bobby Emmons.
I was excited to get the message from Eddie that I was in. I came up a little bit, had some bad luck at the 155 last November with a back injury.
Getting it done, triangle armbar combination. He dispatches Tommy Fisher in regulation.
Bobby may have hurt himself. He gets up very gingerly.
I went through 6 months of shots and therapy and everything for that, and I'm back 100%, training hard, able to roll at my full capacity. The last 170 tournament, I made the semifinals.
And Bobby Emmons is very seasoned with this particular format. Emmons, a very strong leg locker.
Ooh, there it is. It's a tap quick. David Garmo in some serious trouble.
Straight into a leg lock. He may get another look at this outside heel hook.
There it is, and it's done. Quick work. Bobby Emmons. My goodness.
Twice in a row.
Losing to Cody Steele in overtime, who ended up eventually winning it.
We're getting used to the way it looks, but it's evolving and it's changing, and tactics are changing as well. We are on our way to overtime.
So Cody Steele finds himself in overtime for the third time tonight. If he's able to pull this off, I've got to think that's going to be a giant factor heading into the finals against Orchard. He's out of there. He's fully into the mount.
I think this is a good weight class for me, and I think I'm gonna show that.
I think with every tournament that goes by, more history is made, more lineage to titles, and they're going to be more sought after when people see this develop.
I got started in martial arts back in 2009. Honestly, I wasn't even really sure what boxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA, any of that stuff really entailed until then. A buddy of mine just didn't want to go to the gym by himself to check it out. So always being an athlete and competing in things, I thought I'd go with him and give it a shot.
Now we're going to get to his guard, create some offense here. Butterfly hook in on the left side. A nice sweep here from Emmons as he starts to attack the neck.
Typical day for me is waking up in the morning, probably around 5:15. I work a full-time job as well, so I usually get to the office around 5:45 or so. Try to get some stuff done there, leave around 11:30, do a noon class, finish up what I need to after that work-wise, and back at the gym by 5 o'clock to teach and train. The lockdown itself didn't really affect our training, to be honest. We shut the kids' class down and we allowed the adults to train that wanted to, with, that they're grown-ass adults, they knew the consequences. We didn't charge anybody or anything like that during lockdown, but we basically ran, open mats the whole time. My initial thoughts about CJJ when it first came out several years ago was probably like a lot of most people. I thought it was kind of a cool concept, but wasn't sure exactly how it would play out. But after watching it several times and competing several times now, I think it's really good. I think it adds a nice little element to jiu-jitsu that regular jiu-jitsu doesn't necessarily entail, but it's also for the guys who don't want to get kicked, punched, kneed. It's kind of that mix between MMA and jiu-jitsu that you can see where your skills are really at. I believe I have what it takes to become the CJJ champion at 170. Partly because I've been there before. It's not a new stage for me. It's not a new rule set for me. I've got quite a bit of experience in that rule set and stage, and I think a healthy and in shape me is definitely a front runner for this tournament. I think my style of jiu-jitsu really benefits this rule set due to it being submission only. Clearly, I'm not a points guy. I'm not a great wrestler, but I'm always attacking. Win or lose, I'm going to go out firing and do my best to get the submission. I'm not there to get to overtime. If it happens, it happens, but that's not my goal in any match.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner via triangle armbar in regulation on his way to the quarterfinals. It is Bobby Emmons.
Gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's hit it.
My name is Derek Rayfield. I represent 10th Planet Las Vegas, and we're here at beautiful 10th Planet HQ for the 10PQ 170 qualifiers.
Gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's hit it.
I'm definitely a lot bigger, more mature physically. I'm 19, I'm still growing. I just hit like 175 for the first time, so it's definitely different. Growing up with jiu-jitsu, your style changes as you get bigger, you get longer. Just little minute things change. Other than that, the people change a little bit. I had to go against PJ Barch, who previously beat me. Gio is someone I've rolled with in here and I know is very good. And then Mike John, like I said, second time I've gone against him. So all guys that had my respect, for sure. The match against Giovanni, we were standing and I don't remember how the scramble came about, but we ended up scrambling. I ended up actually catching a head and arm choke that was just a bit off. It was too high on his chin. I wasn't able to get on the neck. He escaped. We went back to open guard. A few minutes later, I was able to snag up a guillotine and get the finish from that.
Winner by guillotine, Derek Rayfield.
The match with PJ, like I told him after the match, he's one of the guys that I respect and I personally look up to for my jiu-jitsu game. Yeah, it was a match I was excited for. We had a match in Tucson together where he beat me pretty dominantly, and it kind of showed me hey, this is the next level. And so almost a year later to come in here and have a match with him, it's an honor for me. I had my few minute victories, a few small battles that I won, but he was putting it on me for sure. His top control feels like no one else's, and that is something I'll give him credit to. He has a top game that is very dominant and very hard to deal with.
30 seconds!
With 30 seconds left, he went for a head and arm choke. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this to him. He might have got it anyway. I was pretty tired, but I gave it to him in hopes that he would burn out his arms, and it came on so much tighter than I anticipated.
10 seconds!
20 seconds left, I just said, I'm gonna go out or I'm gonna live to overtime.
3, 2, 1, time!
Just putting on a super tight body lock on me in the second round, getting the rear naked choke, And I was looked to my corner. Mike Wilson said, "Hey, his right arm's gone. His arm, he's tired." And so I said, "Okay, I can. 65 seconds. I have time to work. Let's do it. 65 seconds or my tournament's over. So he tried to posture up. I went back to normal. He put his head back down. Went back to Dead Orchard, and was able to get the Kimura finish from the Dead Orchard.
One over the hip.
I faced Michael John in the finals. He's a very special person to me. He's someone who I've looked up to since I was a little kid. So to see that we're peers and we're both in the finals together, killing it, it made me feel good. We didn't really engage too much. It was a lot of open guard type stuff. Me trying to jump on guillotines, him trying to do the same. I ended up getting the heel hook. It was kind of 50-50 for a while. My foot was in danger. I was able to lock up mine first, get a good clamp. The wall probably helped me as well, and I got the win. Now I'm headed to Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. I'm excited to do it. I'm finally in the bracket. I've had other experiences with super fights and such, but now to actually be in the tournament, to be one of the guys in the mix, it makes me feel real good. So my experience with Combat Jiu-Jitsu is like a week after I turned 18, I did my first match against Mike Flock, and that was a really fun match. That's one of my most fun matches I've had just in general in my career. It was at Long Beach. I had a lot of friends there, and I had this moment where he goes for this leg lock. He jumps into leg lock position, and I'm like, I could defend this, but let's just throw a bomb at him. And it connected. The whole arena goes crazy, and it was really fun. That really made my. I was like, oh, I like Combat Jiu-Jitsu. This is cool. He sits up to try and heel hook me. I grab his head. I got a few in there, and it's just cool. I go to college parties and stuff, and I'm like, hey, look.
That's what you've been training for your whole life right there. Dude, you looked amazing.
How about my jiu-jitsu?
Everything looked amazing. That's what you've been training for your whole fucking life, man. So proud of you. I'm like, this is my little kid. You're my little kid that I brought up. You and Grace, my two little female and male kids that got brought up with 10th Planet in their system. Look at you guys looking fucking destroyed.
Another match against Elias Anderson I had in Cancun, which was a really cool experience. Going outside the country to compete, it was very much fun. Elias is good. He had my back for a lot of that round, gassed me out. I was able to get the dub in overtime, and I just have a lot of respect for him. He definitely pushed me to get there, and he just won the 135 championships. CJJ World Champion, Elias Anderson, beaten by Derek. I mean, I had some tough competition today. I hope that, it puts my name in the mix, with seeing these up-and-coming young guys, Nicky Ryan, Vitolos, guys I look at as my peers, but, I'm not really in that mix. So hopefully today's performance and the performance in Mexico is able to show that I'm there with those guys.
Fine, good to beyond the special match. Proud of you.
I appreciate everything you've done.
I began training Jiu-Jitsu and Judo when I was around 4 or 5 years old. My father, Raul Jimenez, he's the first one in my family to start martial arts, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, and later on I went to MMA. So as soon as I was born, it was already decided that I was going to be in it. Some of my accomplishments in Jiu-Jitsu include purple belt, weight and absolute world champion, finishing all my fights by submission in 2018 as a purple belt and my first year as an adult. Other tournaments include the World Championship in brown belt as an adult, 2019. finishing all my fights by submission in the absolute, in second place in the weight class. Third coast, 170 and under, and 180 and under, overall absolute champion. A couple super fights, but really I don't see them as anything but chapters that I've accomplished throughout my journey.
If you were right about that.
I'm very happy for the opportunity. I've always seen the combat jiu-jitsu as an alternative, kind of an intro into wanting to do combat sports like MMA style jiu-jitsu, just with slaps. So I'm very excited to evolve my style and show what I've been working on in this platform. Combat jiu-jitsu is something I've been looking forward to, and the opportunity has shown itself. I'm ready. Since I'm a little kid, I've always had in the back of my head that MMA is the main goal. My jiu-jitsu style has always been focused around realistic situations. If I have to go in a real fight, how am I going to be able to apply my jiu-jitsu in a fist fight, in an MMA fight, in a real situation? So my game doesn't change much. It just sharpens details up for the situation, which is slaps, which I am very excited for. I like the tension. I feel like it's a fire in a water mix. So no change. The lockdown of 2020, the quarantine, improved my training. I added more wrestling, I added more striking, Muay Thai boxing, sharpened my jiu-jitsu. So overall, this has helped me evolve inside on the mat and outside. My perspective as a fighter has changed, and not changed, but evolved more than anything. And I'm very excited, and I feel ready to show what I've been working on. I know I have what it takes because this is what I've been working on my whole life. This is what I was born for. This is all I know. This is all I want to do. This is all I see. This is all I imagine. This is all I dream of. This is just one more chapter in the book, and that's it. Let's go.
Go.
I think I originally started with this martial art called Goju Karate. I did a couple tournaments, really sucked at the katas and the forms, but really liked the sparring part of it. Stopped doing that for a long time. Eventually I found wrestling, and I would say that's what really piqued my interest, and especially into grappling martial arts. After wrestling in high school, I found jiu-jitsu, kind of like your typical MMA fighter story for the most part. And then from there, I just kind of fell in love with jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, mixed martial arts in general. I'm pretty excited about going to Mexico to compete in this CJJ Worlds bracket. I was supposed to be on CJJ Worlds, I believe 2 other times, but had to pull out for injuries. So I'm crazy happy that Eddie's giving me this opportunity now to come out and show him and show the world what I can do.
10 seconds.
The first time I heard about CJJ, I thought it was awesome. I love the idea of, grappling with hits. When I was a bit younger in the sport, we used to do something called jits with hits. Pretty much the same thing. We would wrestle, and then when we got to the ground, you can hit each other still once it got to the ground. My coach, Wagner Rocha, he ended up winning the CJJ Worlds, and training with him for that was awesome. We were smacking each other, pretty hard, and that guy can smack hard as shit. I have a very pressure-based style of jiu-jitsu. I want to be on top, and I want to advance past the guard and just kind of smother my opponent. Throughout my MMA career, I have 11 submission wins, and most of those wins I set up with strikes. So I would hit my opponent, get them to turtle up, get them to move, so that I can lock up the submissions that I wanted. So I think my style is just perfect for this. I think the addition of palm strikes changes the grappling game tremendously. You know, I'm currently, right now, the #1 bare knuckle fighting championship fighter at 155 pounds. So right there, I was the 2019 bare knuckle fighting championship fighter of the year as well. So I'm used to using my hands without gloves, and I'm used to, you know, making people bleed. You see that a lot, you know. Then when someone gets hit, they turn away. They're not concentrating on their next thought, and you know, it just opens them up for many other finishes. I think I have what it takes to become the champion, because I think everything I set my mind to, I end up accomplishing. And I think that I've been pushing and doing all the right things for this moment. You know, I'm taking every match that I can take at local tournaments, just so that I can be prepared for everything that's going to happen. You know, I train with the best in the world, and I think that, you know, I have everything that it takes to be the champion. Expect a lot of smacks, because I want to be the next person to finish someone with palm strikes. I want to not just finish one person, but 2, 3. You know, finish my way all the way up to the title with just slapping people up. So at the beginning, the lockdowns kind of really sucked for not just myself, but for everybody, I'm sure. But, you know, being from Florida, we kind of got opened up a lot faster than everybody else. And, you know, we got right back to work. You know, I think we were only locked down for about 3 months. And, you know, I was outside running, riding my bike, doing hills, just kind of everything I could do outside. And, you know, once we opened back up, you know, I just went right back at it full force. My gym, Alers Martial Arts, is something that means so much to me, because I'm just pushing the next generation. You know, I have a lot of guys who want to make it to that big stage. You know, they just need that guidance and that push, and I'm just happy to be that guy. I can't wait to see a lot of these guys pursuing their career, and you know, that to me right there is another big accomplishment. I just really want to dedicate this tournament to my pops. He passed away just a few months ago from COVID, so just this is going to be for him. The performances I put on are going to be for him.
My name is Danny Stolfi. I'm a first-degree black belt under the Mendez brothers, and I'm representing Breathe Jiu Jitsu. I got started in martial arts when I was very young. Like, my parents put me in karate, and I was not super into it. That didn't really stick with me. And then, yeah, so in 11th grade, I joined the wrestling team because I had some friends there. And then I stopped wrestling because it was really hard. I finished the season, but I didn't continue. And then eventually I found Jiu-Jitsu around 2009. I was playing the UFC video game with some of my friends. I got super into using BJ Penn and just circling the joystick and just taking people's backs and choking them. Come to find out that there was real jiu-jitsu around, so I went and I was able to do that. I don't know, I can't say my biggest accomplishments as far as tournaments go, because some of them hold meaning to other people because they're bigger name tournaments, but then in some tournaments I beat a really big name guy, and that's more important to me than it was to place or medal higher at a more prestigious tournament. So I'd say my biggest accomplishment to me that I hold near and dear is achieving the black belt from the Mendez brothers, and then opening my own academy with my fiance Jamie. I would say those are probably the biggest accomplishments in jiu-jitsu. And shoot, I would say in life in general, same thing. I would count those. I mean, I did graduate college with a 4-year degree in business. I guess that's a pretty good one too. But yeah, really the black belt in the school are the main ones. it's a great honor to be able to even be considered amongst some of the names that are in that tournament. The addition of palm strikes changes the grappling game in a number of ways. Obviously, you could potentially get TKO'd or knocked out, so it adds an element of fear, I suppose. And then, you know, it's just an extra thing to think about when you're training. I feel like with that extra sense of urgency to make sure you're really off balancing the person from bottom so they can't start striking you, to make sure that you're acting quickly, protecting your head, but also at the same time not exposing your limbs and your neck. It just adds, like, you know, different elements of threats that regular jiu-jitsu don't really have. You know, after getting the invite to do this tournament, I've been training for it, and first off, it's really fun. You know, like, we're not like beating the crap out of each other, hitting each other super hard, trying to knock each other out or anything, but it adds like there's like an extra thrill to it. Like, oh, like I really could get hit right now. I really gotta watch myself. So that makes it fun. Also makes it a little bit scary, which kind of makes it fun. And it just really makes you think a little bit differently, makes you really appreciate more what MMA guys go through. My style of jiu-jitsu benefits this type of rule set because the style of, I would say, particularly guard play that my professors, the Mendes brothers, taught us, and even the stuff that I'm working on right now with Jason Rao and a little bit learning from John Calistine, is we play more distance management from our back. So what I would consider longer range guards like Deli Hiva, K-guard, things like that, where I can stay relatively far away from the person where my head's not super exposed to them. I think that's where my greatest benefit is, that I'm not really in range to be hit too much. And also, my game is really based on off-balancing, inverting, creating angles that the person will have to respect and react to, because if you just start swinging on somebody who's inverting and getting behind you, it's probably not the best idea because your back's exposed. Same goes with leg locks. Like, you really have to respect the positions that I'm going to be attacking. And I think it's going to make it hard for people to hit me, but you never know. Probably just overall an exciting jiu-jitsu game. You're going to see somebody really giving their absolute best. Like, I promise 100%, I'm going to be giving my absolute best. I'm going to be trying to put on a show and make it really exciting. I feel, to me, that's the absolute most important thing, is that I can show everybody how exciting jiu-jitsu can be, how exciting my jiu-jitsu can be, and just why I deserve to be out there, you know, banging with some of the toughest dudes and putting on a real show.
Jacob Boysen, black belt, representing Marcelo Alonso BJJ and Ivan Saliveri MMA out of Seattle, Washington. So I work full time, have a professional career outside of martial arts. Typically train in the morning or in the afternoon doing conditioning, and then get in more skill training, jiu-jitsu, MMA at night. Typically 5-6 days a week. So I got started in martial arts when I was 7. My dad actually took me in the same night. He took me to a Boy Scouts meeting and to a Taekwondo training session or Taekwondo school, and gave me the choice of choosing which one I wanted to do. And naturally, I chose Taekwondo, and that's what kind of got me started. And then kind of just continued all the way through college, finished up a master's degree, and now looking to get back into jiu-jitsu. I think it's a really cool format as a competition. I think sometimes even no-gi jiu-jitsu can get a little bit boring. You kind of fall into the same patterns, and I think CJJ just adds a whole other layer to the game, and it just makes it entertaining. And honestly, it's fun as a jiu-jitsu practitioner. It's an honor to compete. You know, the old saying goes, you know, any black belt, they get hit in the face and they become a blue belt, something to that degree, I don't know. It's semi-true. And so I think as a martial artist, I think the palm strikes allows you to really test yourself and test your jiu-jitsu. Just kind of adds a whole other layer to the game.
You choose, Jacob, and I'll give them to you.
I mean, I was excited when the format first came out. Ivan and I were talking about it. At that point in time, I started moving away from MMA. Again, it was more to focus on my professional career. And I thought I would just compete in jiu-jitsu kind of going forward. But I think this format really opens it up to allowing you to kind of explore jiu-jitsu and still explore some of the aspects of MMA and the striking without like fully committing to just a pure MMA career. I think if you ask anyone that's ever rolled with me, they would say this is the perfect format for me. I would say I enjoy modern jiu-jitsu, I enjoy no-gi, but I really enjoy ground and pound. I think that's probably, it's kind of sick, but I don't know. I just think there's a creativity component to it that oftentimes isn't explored as much like in MMA or by jiu-jitsu practitioners. But I think there's a real art to it, and I really enjoy doing it. I feel the hardest thing I think is for the gym owners. I think trying to survive this whole time. I don't own a gym. I'm honestly lucky in that respect. I was lucky to have a job, professional career, allow me to continue to work. But a lot of gym owners really struggled through this time. And so I was fortunate that the team rallied and we did what we had to do to keep training and to keep the gym open. And thankfully we're coming back and everything's good. I just like to fight, man. That's all I want. I just want to have fun and go in there and kick someone's ass. So that's it. Yeah. I'll see you in Mexico.
Yeah, and they're both making strikes a really heavy part of their game plan.
My first event was lightweight 155. I usually walk around about 160, and I believe I weighed in at about 153, so there was a little bit of a cut to get there. I usually walk around about 160, so being 170, I've had to start lifting a lot more. I know the guys are going to be a lot larger, stronger, but I'm hoping that my technique and speed will help me in the long run.
Head up when you stand. Good. Head up. Good. Turn your knee in. Pass. Take his leg. Take it.
Let's go, Todd. Let's go. Get the 50-50. Get the 50-50.
My initial thoughts competing in CJJ was going to be pretty eye-opening. My first match, I got hit a lot, and so that was something I wasn't ready for. I think a lot of guys are just going to play the jiu-jitsu and not really worry about hits, but that was something I wasn't expecting in my first match, was to be a lot of palm strikes to the face, the nose, the ears. Kicked me in the head as far as the game plan I was expecting to execute.
Landing some nice right hands.
Owens did a great job of utilizing that sweep, landing
Knee
on
bar
top, and
toe hold again.
Big shots.
That one's deep.
You can see the reaction there from Owens, definitely paying the proper attention to that defense.
Now that I have competed in it, I'm a little bit more aware of different positions that I can be struck from, as far as the force that comes behind those strikes. They're nothing to take lightly. I got started in martial arts in college, did some boxing, and joined a small gym. That gym did a lot of MMA, and I had a guy come up to me and ask me if I wanted to grapple, and ever since then I've never put my gloves on. My style of jiu-jitsu, I wouldn't say benefits us, transition a lot from open guard style. I do have to switch it up for combat. I have to play closed guard, more wrestling, more stand-up. Almost a self-defense aspect. I have to control the arms, control the palms, the strikes, things like that. My typical daily routine until recently was 5 a.m. weightlifting, the 10 o'clock jiu-jitsu class, and then a 5 o'clock jiu-jitsu class as well. We've been pretty fortunate with the COVID and the lockdowns to where we were still able to train, whether it was just a few of us. Oklahoma started lifting bands, or didn't have really any bands at all, and so we were able to train quite frequently every day, if anything. I think the addition of palm strikes changes. It doesn't give you a chance to pause. It gives more positions credit. So top side, top half, those are just as dangerous as any other position. You're just as vulnerable if you're on the ground or on the bottom. Doesn't matter what position you're in. So it provides a little emphasis on getting out of there, recovering guard, or just standing up and getting out of the palm strikes. You can expect less palm strikes. I think these guys are not going to be worried about strikes at all. I think they're going to try to take me down as quickly as possible, and whether get to the back or mount and submit. They're not going, they may throw a few strikes, but a lot of these guys, their jiu-jitsu is at such a high level that the strikes will just slow them down. So they're not, I don't think I'm going to see as many palm strikes as past events or my last matches.
Let's hear it for Todd Bowling.
My name is Nick Ronan. I'm a black belt, and I'm fighting at a CJJ Academy in Huntington, New York. As a wrestler, I was 4-time All-Catholic State in high school. In Jiu-Jitsu, I won a bunch of local tournaments. I've taken out some pretty big names, but I'm looking to continue to do that. I'm not satisfied until hopefully I can also take that Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds title. Yeah, it's an honor to be invited to compete in this bracket. I mean, it's a really stacked division with talent from top to bottom, and each guy really poses a different problem. So it's going to be a really interesting challenge to get ready for this tournament, especially with slaps added to it. Well, it changes everything because, like I said, normally I like to pull guard and attack from bottom position, but that's just a recipe for disaster in a setting where they can hit you. So you got to work on your wrestling, got to work on reversals, and being comfortable in bottom position isn't a thing when people can hit you. So you got to really change up the game plan. My initial thoughts about combat jiu-jitsu was that it's pretty crazy and I've never seen it before. And I was really interested to see how it would change the jiu-jitsu matches individually. And it makes me excited now seeing a couple combat jiu-jitsu worlds events and seeing how excited each match is and how slaps bring a whole different element to it. So I'm excited to mix it up and add slaps to my game too. The lockdowns have affected my training because my academy closed for a long time throughout the lockdown, but I was able to do some private training, which is nowhere near as good as academy training, but I was still active the whole time and I still improved all throughout the lockdown. So. My style of jiu-jitsu benefits this rule set because, like I said, I can wrestle and I need to show it, and I need to use my wrestling to get on top and stay on top. So as long as I can really show my wrestling background, then I think I could do good.
Scissor leg takedown. He's in deep on a leg attempt already.
My name is Mikey Gonzalez, and I represent Cavalcante Academy based in San Jose, California. I've been studying jiu-jitsu for 10 years now. I started at Cayo's and I'm still at Cayo's. So shout out to everybody there, all my training partners, my boy Benji, everybody that gives me time, and you know, you gotta be thankful for your training partners. Jiu-Jitsu is not a one-man sport, it's a team sport. I know a lot of people don't look at it like that, but in order for me to get better, I need a body, you know, and you need bodies to get better. So shout out to all my training partners that have ever worked with me, that have cultivated who I am today. So shout out to you guys.
Very aggressive early is Gonzalez, left hand there.
Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, the Welterweights, Cancun, Mexico. Come on, man, that's fucking badass. Like, an inspiration of mine invited me back, giving me an opportunity. Mad love to Eddie Bravo, man. Like, he's a Mexican-American, I'm a Mexican-American. You know, he's made a name for himself in Jiu-Jitsu, he's a wizard. You know, created the rubber guard. I play rubber guard, so I'm fucking very grateful and taken aback by the opportunity, man. Like, it's always great to be part of a combat jiu-jitsu show, Eddie Bravo show. Like, that's a dream come true for me. My style is I'm always gonna be coming forward. You know, like I said, I ain't gonna back up. You know, I ain't gonna play anti-jiu-jitsu, I ain't gonna stall, I ain't gonna ride the clock. Like, I'm gonna attack a submission, I'm gonna be chasing it the whole time, you know. And with that kind of style, I might get chased, you know, but that's the kind of game, that's the kind of jiu-jitsu I bring, you know. I ain't gonna waste no time. I'm gonna bring the action, always. I have more insight in that, I think, than some other people, because I am successful in MMA. And I have not gotten half the opportunities that I've gotten in Jiu-Jitsu. So shout out to the Jiu-Jitsu community. We're one big family, man. Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, Cancun, the Welterweights. Come on, man, it's beautiful there. So Eddie Bravo and Victor Davila, man, you guys are, man, mad respect to you guys, man. You guys are doing it. So I'm very excited to be back and showcase the things I've been working on. I'm gonna start incorporating more slaps this time, because it seems to open up different spots and different sequences. You know, normal jiu-jitsu, you can kind of ride or control a position, kind of chill. The slaps seem to open that up. So I've been working on that back home with my guys, and hopefully we can showcase some new stuff. And yeah, man, I'm excited. We're gonna bring it. Slap City, baby. Let's go.
You know, just going hard nonstop till it's over, till I win or till someone beats me. Like, I will just go. There won't be any waiting. There won't be any stalling. I'm there to win it and not mess around.
I'm pretty confident that it's my title. It's my championship, and that's perfect for me. You know, can expect fireworks and a lot of sound.
This tournament opened up so much doors for me, and I'm excited for it. And I'm gonna bring for the fans, you know, man, a war and a bloody fight. This is what I do.
I've been there before. It's not a new stage for me. It's not a new rule set for me. I've got quite a bit of experience in that rule set and stage, and I think a healthy and in shape me is definitely a front runner for this tournament.
Now to actually be in the tournament, to be one of the guys like in the mix, you know, it makes me feel real good.
This is what I was born for. This is all I know. This is all I want to do. This is all I see. This is all I imagine. This is all I dream of. This is just one more chapter in the book, and that's it. Let's go.
I want to not just finish one person, but 2, 3. You know, finish my way all the way up to the title with just slapping people up.
I just really believe in my chances against anybody in the world. You know, I feel like I train with some of the best in the world, and you know, I think that really shows me where I stand.
I don't know. I just like to fight, man. That's all I want. I just want to have fun and go in there and kick someo's ass. So that's it. Yeah.